the days just before Jesus' death, he told a crowded temple audience a parable called the Parable of the Vineyard, also known as the Parable of the Absent Landlord. And it went something like this. There was a good man who was a householder, and he planted a vineyard. He sat a hedge about it, dug a pit for the wine press, and built a watchtower for the guards. And then he let this vineyard out to tenants while he went on a long journey into a foreign country. And when the season of the fruits drew near, he sent servants to his tenants to receive his rental. But the tenants took counsel amongst themselves and refused to give these servants the fruits due their master. Instead, they fell upon the servants, beating one, stoning another, and sending the others away empty-handed. And when the householder heard about these things, he sent other and more trusted servants to deal with these wicked tenants. And these too they wounded and treated shamefully. And then the householder sent his favorite servant, his steward, and him they killed. And still, in patience and forbearance, the absent landlord dispatched many other servants, but none would they receive. Some they beat, others they killed. And when the householder had been so dealt with, he decided to send his son to deal with those ungrateful tenants, saying to himself, "They may mistreat my servants, but they will surely show respect for my beloved son." But when these unrepentant and wicked tenants saw the son, they reasoned amongst themselves, "This is the heir. Let us kill him, and then the inheritance will be ours." And so they laid hold on him, and casting him out of the vineyard, they killed him. And then Jesus asked his audience this question: "When the Lord of that vineyard shall hear how they have rejected and killed his son, what will he do to those ungrateful and wicked tenants?" And the people all answered, "He will destroy those miserable men and let out his vineyard to other and honest farmers, who will render to him the fruits in their season." And when some of them who heard perceived that this parable referred to the Jewish nation and its treatment of the prophets, and to the impending rejection of Jesus and the gospel of the kingdom, they said in sorrow, "God forbid that we should go on doing these things." Well, it's been about 2,000 years since the death of his son. And how has the Father responded? I believe we can conclude Jesus' heavenly Father is a loving, patient Father, not a wrathful, angry, or vengeful God. For the response of the absent landlord has not been as the people have predicted. Rather, God has tried yet again to reveal his love to and for his mortal children. Since the publishing of the Urantia Book in 1955, we can now answer Jesus' question somewhat differently than how Jesus' audience responded 2,000 years ago. Jesus' Father has responded in a way which can be rejected, but it cannot be killed. You cannot kill the Urantia Book. And the authenticity of the Urantia Book must be determined by each person who pursues its papers. No man profits from the copyright, and all the authors love, cherish, and honor God. They are angelic or spiritual in nature, and they are all dedicated to doing the will of the Father, just as Jesus was, is, and we should be. Part 3 of the Urantia Book is dedicated to the history of our planet, from the evolutionary attainment of mortal man to the crucifixion of Jesus. In this section, read about mortal man's climb to the present-day civilization. In Part 4 of the Urantia Book, you will rediscover the entire life and teachings of Jesus. Read about his birth, his childhood and adolescent years. Read about his public teachings, his arrest, trial, crucifixion, and resurrection. It's all there. It's an easy, enlightening, and inspiring read. The Urantia Book may seem overwhelming at first, especially if you start with the foreword. From my experience, I would recommend starting with paper 183, The Betrayal and Arrest of Jesus, or read any of the papers that catch your attention. It is not necessary to read the book from front to back. The Urantia Book is a type of book that can be read in any order. If you're a truth seeker, search out the papers of the Urantia Book, and you'll discover a new and valuable resource to help determine who you are, where you came from, and where you're going. If you'd like to learn more about the Urantia Book, send me an email. Or better yet, if you want a free Urantia Book, contact Urantia Canada's website at www.freeurantiabooks.org. Bye for now.